Here we have the game set up for the dogfight game. We have our hit dice and evade dice. We have each player color separated out. And within each player color, we have 9 total dice. And there are 3 types. We have one that has a square type, and that one is your decision dice. We have 4 dice that do not have any letters on them, and those are your rookie dice. And then the ones that do have letters on them, A, B, E, and R, those are your aces dice. Once you have the game set up like this, you're ready to play. Let's go through a game turn in the 4 phases. I'll talk about the aces dice, any other special rules that come up, and then in the next section, I'll talk about how to win the game. So first, let's start with a position roll. So the very first roll of the game, we need to take our decision dice and our 4 rookies. We're going to roll those dice. Now we're going to play a 3-player game. Don't worry about the fourth player. 3 and 4 player rules are the same. So we're going to add in the 3rd player, and that is a position roll. You roll your dice once, and now we're ready to determine the highest and lowest. So I got 2, 4, 6, 7 in an evade. I've got 3 and 2 blanks. I can re-roll up to 2 blanks with that decision dice. And this I have 4. So right now, the green player is the highest and the blue player is the lowest. Decision dice can be used at any time. He decides to use it right now. So he re-rolls up to 2 dice. That changes things. 2, 4, 6. 2, 4, 6, 7. He's still there. 2, 3, 4. Now, white is the lowest. White can't change anything. That doesn't really help. So green, highest is always going to attack the lowest. If you tie for the lowest number, so let's say there were it was 4 and 4, and green had 7. Green would decide who they want to attack. Could be white or blue, because they tied for the lowest. If you tie for the highest in a 2-player, 3-player, 4-player game, you tie the 2 people tie for the highest, everyone's going to re-roll. You just start a new game turn with a new position roll. So let's go ahead and do we've already determined the highest and the lowest. Let's do our hits and evades. So this person amazingly gets 3 or 4 evades with only 2 hits. And in this case, you need to have more hits than evades to knock out a rookie. And that's what you're trying to do in the game. So here, you got more evades. So it's the end of the turn. Nothing happened. So we're going to go to another game turn. This blank was used, so it must be re-rolled. This isn't really helping, so they're going to decide to re-roll it. Green is going to keep their evade back. So let's go to another game turn. We may have a few game turns just to keep showing you how to go through and some of the rules on here. So there's 4, maybe 5, 3, maybe 4, and 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. So green is definitely going first. These aren't in yet. So green says, I'm going to attack blue. Blue says, no, I want to have 4. And then white has to decide, you know what, I'm going to add my dice in. So yes, attack blue. So blue's going to roll the evade. And we have 3 hits. And we have 2 evades. And I have to have more hits than evades. And in this case, in the resolve, blue is going to lose a rookie to green. It's going to call up an ace. The aces dice, there's 4 different types, and they're all different. The rookie dice are all the same. The aces dice are not. The A stands for attack. We have 1 blank. All the rest of them have hits, 4 planes. We have 4 sides with 2 planes, 1 with 1 plane, 1 blank. We have a balance die that has a evade that helps out with our evade roll, has planes on it, but also has a re-roll. We have an evade dice, So that's 2 evades on one side, some 2 planes on 3 sides, and a blank. And then we have the reroll dice, has a blank, but it has some planes, but it has 2 rerolls. The reroll, when this is in your squadron and this dice comes up, it means you can reroll any die that you want, including the reroll die. But if that symbol comes up again on the reroll die, nothing happens. You can only reroll that dice once. So that's what the reroll is. If you get the evade symbol, that means you can add it to your evade roll automatically. If an evade comes up on your decision dice, you can decide to add it or not. And that is that game turn. Let's do one more game turn. So this person now decides to add theirs back in. This was used and that was used, so they're going to have to re-roll all of that. So let's see what happens now. Oh, we have an any. We have 5 and an any. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I didn't roll this guy. And another any comes up. So I have 5 against 1. So in this case, it would be tied. So we would re-roll. But green says, you know what? I'm going to force blue to re-roll that die. So he's going to re-roll that dice, and it still comes up the same. Blue says, oh, I'm going to re-roll my own dice, and it comes up with 2. So now blue has the highest, white has the lowest. They're going to attack each other, and I've got 4 hits and no evades. And now white is going to lose a rookie over to blue, and they're going to call up an ace. And this is going to continue to happen. And in the next section, I'll show you the end of the game. We've gone through some game turns, but how do you win the game? Well, over time, we'll start seeing a lot more action, a lot more rookies are going to be lost, and aces are going to have to be called up. And at some point, you're going to have players that have lost all their rookies and have called up all their aces. And in this case, if those players lose a evade roll and can't call up an ace, they're out of the game. If white would lose their evade roll, they would be out of the game. And then green and blue would go against each other until another player was knocked out of the game. The last player standing wins the game when all the other players are out.